Let us start with today's topic. First, we'll do the revision, what we have seen in the last lecture. Okay. If this have you clicked on the page? Is this page visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So last time what we have seen, the finite automata, which is a mathematical model of the finite state machine, and it is denoted by the 5 tuples. So we have seen that M is what our finite automata, and 5 tuples are what? Q, summation, delta, Q0 and F, where this Q is a what? Is a finite set of states, and the summation we have seen, it is a finite, actually it is an input alphabet, so it is a finite set of input symbols. Delta is a what? State transition function. What is that function? What is, how it is doing the mapping? Given the state and the input symbol, it determines the next state. Q0 is what? It is the initial state. Okay, Q0 state will be again from the finite set of states, and F is a what? It is a set of final states. So F here is a what? It is a subset of Q. So what we have seen, there is only one initial state, but there can be more than one final states. Then we have seen the notations that we can use to denote the initial and the final state. One way is what? We can show the incoming arrow and this circle, that is the initial state, and in that case final state you have to show by the 2 concentric circles. The second way to denote the initial state is using minus and plus sign. So if you put minus inside the circle, that is the initial state, and plus in the circle, that is the final state. In case if both initial and final states are same, in the first notation, so this is the way arrow indicate that it is an initial state, and 2 concentric circle indicate it is a final state. And in case of minus plus, you have to put both the signs, then it indicate it is initial as well as the final states. Okay. Then we are seeing the example how to design the finite automata, and then we also seen what how to write the state transition function. Okay, so state transition function, for that example we have seen, where your rows are the states and the columns are the input symbols. And then we have also seen how to simulate for the given example, and here only 3 columns are there, as the output is not there. Only we have considered the, if after accepting our input string, if we are in a, yes, is there any problem? Yes, what you have typed in the chat window, is there any problem? Yes, are you there? Okay. So this is what the current state, current input symbol, and the next state, and you can show the simulation. So from the current state, for the current input symbol, so what you have to do the transition, find the next state, and for the next input symbol, it becomes the current state. Take the next input symbol, find the next state, and they see you continue till the last input symbol. And after reading that, if you are in the final state, then we'll say that input string is acceptable, otherwise it is not accepted. Okay, and we are saying the transition, how you can show for the given input string. Simulation is one way. The other way is what? Delta we are using to denote the transition. So Q0, let you are always starting with the initial state, and let X is your input string. If from the input, for the given input string from the initial state, if you can reach to the final state, then we'll say that is acceptable. So this is how it is shown, the transition delta of Q0. Suppose the input string is 0 1 1 0, so you can show like this way. First one input symbol you will take from this, you will find the transition from Q0 to 0, then you will go to the next state. Next state you will consider the next input symbol, like here delta of what? delta of q0 comma 0. So what it indicate? q0 on 0 goes to q2, and now the input symbols are what? 1 1 0, and like this way you can find the transition, and if you reach to the final state, then it is acceptable. Okay. So then we have seen that if all the input string of all the input strings are acceptable, then we'll say it is a accepted by our automata, and it is the language accepted by the automata is a regular language or the regular set. Okay. So now today, last time I also given some examples for the homework. I think only 2 to 3 students have sent me on the WhatsApp the photos, whatever they have sought. Please, on the same day, please practice this subject. Otherwise, at the end, you will find it very much difficult, as we are going to learn many and more concepts for solving the different types of examples and the different types of machines. Like here, it is finite automata. Then we'll be studying Turing machine. Then we'll be studying post machines. Okay, so you need to practice a lot for this subject. So let us consider. So if my input string is input alphabet is 0 and 1, and now you want to accept all the strings that ends with 0 0 or 1 1. Okay, so what is the language that is to be accepted? All the strings that ends with 0 0 or 1 1. Input alphabet is given as a what? 0 or 1. That is, you will get the input strings which are composed of only 0 and 1. So from each state there will be transitions on only 0 and 1. And if your input string ends with the 0 0, then you should be in the final state. Same way, if it ends with the 1 1, you should be in a final state. So can you tell me what will be the strings that you can accept here for this language? Always remember that first you have to start with epsilon. If epsilon is accepted by the language, then you consider the strings of length 1, then strings of length 2. So that way you can note down the strings for the given language. Now can you tell me whether empty string is acceptable here or not? Yes, anyone? Whether the input string is acceptable or not? Input string is epsilon is acceptable or not? What we have to accept? The strings ending with 0 0 or 1 1. So like consider epsilon. You know the epsilon means an empty string. Nothing. Epsilon means nothing. Yes, I got only answer from Athar. Any other? Samir, are you there? Samir Aghav. You have to reply, otherwise I'll mark the attendance. Someone give the message to the Samir Aghav. He has not started microphone. He has just logged in, so I'm not going to consider his attendance. Tell him. Okay. So epsilon is not acceptable. Are there any strings of length 1 which we can accept? Strings of length 1. If you understand this, then only your finite automata design will be correct, no? Yes. It is not acceptable, correct? So strings of length 1 are not acceptable because we want the strings ending with 0 0. So at least 2 symbols must be there, correct? And it can be 0 0 or 1 1. So minimum length strings which are acceptable by this are what? 0 0 and 1 1. Now you can note down the strings of length 3 after this, but it should end with the 0 0 or 1 1. So only 2 possibilities are there, no? 0 0 0 or 1 3 4 possibilities, correct? 0 0 0 1 0 0, or can be what? 0 1 1 or 1 1 1. The same way, now you can list the strings for this language, but it should end with the 0, 0 or the 1, 1. Okay, is that clear? Is the language clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So let us design the finite automata for this. So we know let initial state Q0. Now you are going to tell me the transitions on 0 and 1. Okay, so we are started here, and now there we have to consider two transitions as there are two input symbol. From Q0, you have to make the transition on 0 or 1. So can you tell me on 0 what I have to do? Where it should go on 0? Is there any need to create a new state? That you tell me. क्या करना चाहिए? Should I create a new state and make the transition from Q0 on 0? Yes or no? You can put it in the chat window. Shall I make the transition? क्या करना चाहिए? Or it will remain in the same state, Q0 on 0. Q0 on 0, you need to create a new state because we want to check for 0, 0, correct? So let us consider for this case first, 0, 0. So from Q1, क्या करना चाहिए? New state create करना चाहिए? From Q1, yes. So from Q1, you need to create a new state, and whether this Q2 will be final state or not, whether Q2 will be final state, yes. If it is a final state, then we need to show using two concentric circles. Okay, so we completed for the 0, 0. Now one by one you complete the transition from each state on 0 and 1. So let us consider Q0, because from Q0 we have completed the transition on 0, and now from Q0 on 1 क्या करना चाहिए? Now the existing states are Q0, Q1, Q2. What you have to check? Q0 on 1, can you make the transition to the existing state, or do you have to create a new state? Do you have to create a new state, or you will make the transition to the existing? Can anybody tell me? क्या करना चाहिए? New state or existing? Ashish Jeswani, Ashish, are you there? New state or existing state? That is the question. Existing. तो कौन से state को transition करना चाहिए? Can you tell me? Q0 on 1 कहाँ पे जाना चाहिए? Whether those who are telling me the existing, now tell me which existing state को आप transition करेंगे from Q0.
Ma'am, Q0 on transition will go to Q1, na? If we take 1.
What will be the problem on 1 if Q0 goes to Q1? Problem क्या होगा देखो? Then it will also accept 1, 0, no? If I give the input as a 1, 0, Q0 on 1 will go to Q1, and Q1 on 0, it is already there to Q2. We don't want that, no? We don't want to accept 1, 0 or 0, 1. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Rohan is saying that we have to create new state. Any other answer? So, yes. Any other answer? Yes, Rohan is saying correctly that we need to create a new state on 1. So let it is Q3. So now Q3, Q0 on 1 goes to Q3. Okay, so now we want to accept for what? Ending with the 1 1. So again the same way like here, from Q3 we cannot make the transition to the existing states, correct? Again we need to create a new state from the Q3 on 1, and this will be your final state, because from initial state on 1 1 it goes to the Q4. Is it clear? Is it clear or not? So now completed Q0 on 0 and 1. Now consider Q1. Okay, so Q1 transition is completed for the 0. Now you tell me Q1 on 1 न्यू स्टेट क्रिएट करना चाहिए या एग्जिस्टिंग कौन से स्टेट को ट्रांजिशन जाएगा? प्लीज फास्ट रिप्लाई करो थोड़ा, सो दैट विल कंटिन्यू. Q1 on 1 Q0 को जाएगा. Rowan is saying. And please while logging please rename yourself to your name, because I'm not getting who is roll number 29 now. OMG लिखा है. Who is that? Who is there? Who is roll number 29? So Q1 on 1 अगर आपने Q0 को दिया तो प्रॉब्लम क्या होगा? Can anybody tell me? If I give the input string 0 1 1, whether it will accept it? Our input string 0 1 1. अगर आपने यहाँ से Q0 को दिया, प्लीज थिंक ऑन दिस कि क्या होना चाहिए. अगर मैं यहाँ से इनपुट मेरा 0 1 1 है एंड 0 से हम यहाँ पे आएंगे, एंड इफ Q1 on 1 goes to Q0, ठीक है, एक 1 तो कंसिडर हो गया, एंड द लास्ट 1 के लिए Q0 on 1 will go to the and will not accept, करेक्ट? इट विल टर्मिनेट ऑन Q3, करेक्ट? सो क्या करना चाहिए? ऑलरेडी Q3 के लिए there is a incoming edge on 1, so this on 1 goes to the Q3. Okay, so if I give now 0 1 1, so 0 1 1, it is accepted, correct? So we completed the transition from Q1 on 0, Q1 on 1. Same way from each state you need to complete the transitions on 0 and 1. So now you tell me Q2 on 0 कौन से स्टेट को जाएगा? Q2 on 0, where it will go? Q2 on 0. Yes, no answer. Q2 on 0 कहाँ पे जाएगा?
Q1.
Q2 on 0 Q1 को जाएगा? See, we want the string ending with the 0 0. तो इसके बाद once we have checked for 2 0, any number of zeros can come after that, no? No matter any number of zeros come, once you have counted 2 continuous zeros, then it will remain in the final state, no? Okay, so that is correct. So 0, and now you tell me Q2 on 1 कहाँ पे जाएगा? Same way, if I give the input as a 2 zeros and 2 1s, it should accept, no? तो you check कौन से स्टेट को अगर आप ट्रांजिशन करेंगे so that it reaches in a final state after reading 0 0 1 1. So Q2 on 1 कहाँ पे जाना चाहिए? Q2 on 1 See 0 0 already आपने read किए. Now you are in the Q2 state, and in the Q2 if you get 1, it should go to the Q3. That is correct. Okay, so that for the next one, it will go from Q3 to the Q4. So we completed Q0, Q1, Q2, and now Q3 से transition. Now it's simple. Now you can think. So Q3 से हमने 1 पे already transition we have completed. Now you tell me Q3 on 0 कहाँ पे जाएगा? Which state will go? Q3 on 0. See again, understand, we need to, yes, now many students are saying Q1, now it is correct. Okay, Q3 on, and you have to show the directed edge. So Q3 on 0 goes to Q1, that is correct. So if I give the string 1 0 0, so 1 0 0, and this is, you can say, as a loop, correct? So if I give the string, let 1 0 1 0 1 and 0 0, see. So how the transition will be made? Q0 on 1 goes to Q3, next Q3 on 0 goes to Q1, Q1 on goes to 1, again Q3 on 0 goes to Q1, Q1 on 1 goes to Q3, Q3 then on 0 goes to Q1, and for the last 0 it goes to Q2. So you can see this is a loop. Okay, so now you can see all, it will accept all the strings of zeros and ones ending with the 0 0 or 1 1. And here from this now the transitions are remaining. Now you can tell me Q4 on 0, where it should go? Q4 on 0, Q4 on 0, Q1, correct? Q4 on 0 should go to the Q1, and Q4 on 1, Q4 on 1, itself. Q3 को नहीं जाएगा. कुणाल देख लो थोड़ा कैसे होगा Q3 को. Same way, like once you considered 1 1, and if after that if any number of 1 come, this is a self loop. Okay, so any number of 1 comes, once you have counted this 1 1, okay, it will remain in the same state. So this completes what the finite automata for all the strings of zeros and 1 ending with the 0 0 or 1 1. Okay, and from this you complete the state transition table afterwards. So I'll just give the hint. You know how to prepare the state transition table. You have to note all the states Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and columns are the input symbol. And then you have to write here the states. Can you complete this state transition table? So you know from this Q0 on 0 goes to Q1, Q0 on 1 goes to Q3. So that way you can complete this state transition table. Okay, is it clear? Is the example clear? So we move to the next example. Okay, so now let us consider the next example. First we'll take one simple example. Let us consider if your input alphabet again, okay, let us consider the input alphabet of AB, and you have to accept all strings with A, B, B as a substring. Is the question clear? It is now not ending with anything, but what is the question? All the strings of A and B you have to consider, and in that string, if ABB is there as a substring, then you have to accept it. Okay, so always try to imagine or visualize which type of string should be there. Then you can easily draw this finite automata. You can design it. Okay, so you have to accept all the strings with ABB as a substring. So can anybody tell me minimum length का कौन सा string आएगा in this language? Minimum length string. Yes, that is correct, because we want what ABB as a what substring. Okay, so first string that is accepted is the ABB. Okay, can you tell me now the next? ये तो minimum length अभी here it is 3. So first string is ABB. Correct. The next string Saurav is saying let B A B. 4 length string you can note down. It is A B B. Correct. Yes. So 4 length के हो गए. Similarly, infinite number of strings can be there of A and B, but we want to accept ABB as a substring. Only those strings we want to accept. Let us start now the design. Q0. Now what we have to do? We have to complete the transitions on A and B. Correct? So transitions on A and B. So we know that we want ABB. So initially we will do that if we want to accept ABB. So let Q0 on A goes to Q1, Q1 on B goes to let Q2, and let Q2 on B goes to Q3, and let this is your final string. यहाँ तक clear है what we did? Now we'll go faster. For the first example, we have taken almost half an hour. Is it clear? ABB. Now final state. Yes or no? Now from each of this state, we need to complete what? The transitions on A and B. Okay, let us start with the Q0. क्या करना चाहिए? Q0 on B. To which state you will make the transition, or you will remain in the same state? Yes, no, yes, correct. Many students are giving now the correct answer. Just think on it, whether you need to create a new state or what. Yeah, existing means you specify the state also. Existing means which state? Q0 on B कौन से existing state को transition करना चाहिए? So that this is our string B A B B. Yes. Your answer may be wrong, but please try to answer. Many students have given the correct answer. That what? It should remain the same state. Correct? So any number of beats can come when you start with the initial state, and if your input string start with B. Okay, will remain in the same state because we want to check this for the substring ABB. Okay, no matter how many beats comes initially. So that is correct. ये तो हो गया अपना Q0 से transition हो गए. Now Q1 से already transition we have completed on B. Now you tell me Q1 on A कौन से existing state को जाएगा या you need to create a new state. Fast reply करो now. Do it fast. Yes. Is it correct? That it should remain in the same state. Q1 on A. Again the same thing. That is correct. It should remain in the same state because